What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of What the Vet. Today we have the lovely Dr. Brooke joining us today to talk about the differences between men versus women in veterinary medicine and veterinary practice ownership. So, without further ado, Dr. Brooke, can you give us a little bit about your background and where you come from?
Sure. I am currently in Florida. I have been a practicing veterinarian in Florida since 2008, graduated from UF. Have been a practice owner myself since 2016, so almost 10 years. I'm going on a fourth operation venture. I started off in corporate world and worked about 10 years for Banfield and kind of worked my way up the corporate ladder and did regional management. And then I did have a kind of a course and time in regional acquisitions with a larger group that started. So have had my hands, and I taught at the vet tech school for a little while as well. So kind of had my hands in a little bit of corporate and private practice and kind of got to see quite a bit of vet med, I think.
Had your hands in a different couple of cookie jars.
Yeah, a little bit. I think too many at times. So.
Right. I'm just going to put that back.
That's necessarily stopped. I don't know. I don't know if it stops. But
No, it doesn't.
Amber has not helped it.
Now because, well, I was going to blame it on her, but true. She's like, come here, come play in this cookie jar. Try these ones.
I'll have an idea, and then her idea sprouts another idea. Next thing I know, we're having like a dog bar in like the Bahamas or something.
With a pull-up dock for a boat to have charters, that charter said charter.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, that said charter could take people off to their wellness retreats and whatnot. Like, we just keep going,
Keep it all connected. We're already talking about healing the people with their animals.
I love that because it's so true.
It's just, it's like you and Martin. You know what I mean? Like, it just works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
So when I was doing research on this, it came up as like the glass escalator effect, which is in a female-dominated profession, men often rise faster into leadership roles, even with the fewer peers that they have, because women account for 63 to 70% of veterinarians that come out. And mind you, this is a couple of years old, but it tends to track from what we've all seen. Now, since you've had your hands in a little bit of the cookie jars, have you noticed that to be correct as well?
So you said this is for ownership?
Yes.
It's at what now? 60-40?
So for women in just veterinary medicine alone, it's 63 to 70%. For just women ownership in 2007, it was 29% and did rise in 2019 to 41%. They are projecting it in 2028 to surpass men owning it, but they're thinking that.
Yeah. I mean, those numbers sound on par for what I've seen. I mean, I think we're just seeing currently my practices I've all purchased have been from veterinarians, in their 60s going on maybe 70s, but veterinarians that are about to retire. And I think that a lot of was that generation that was probably more male dominated. And now we're seeing them retire. So I think I am seeing more of the younger veterinarians and women wanting to get into ownership, whether that's, and it's hard because there's so many factors in it, right? But I mean, those numbers definitely sound on course because you're going to have a decline. We're having kind of an upward trend with the females.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Nope, you're good.
Why is there just more females in veterinary medicine?
Why do you think that that's on an incline, on an increase versus years past?
I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's not seen as a money-driven profession. So men don't go into it as much because it's not a breadwinning profession. I mean, why go to that many years of school when you go be a dentist and make more money or go be a human doctor or whatever? So I just don't think they see it as fruitful in the way of finances personally. But I don't know if that's I think that's just kind of how society is now to a degree. I think veterinary medicine is seen more emotional, and I think more women just kind of tend to gravitate towards that because we tend to be naturally more empathic and more the healers, and that's just what we gravitate towards. And then it's becoming now an industry where most of the women that are in it are becoming mothers, and then we have young mothers. And I mean, I feel like when I started at Banfield, that was a big thing, and our hours were 8 to 8, and there were no child cares that were open past 6 p.m. And what am I supposed to do as a young family? And my husband's a veterinarian that also has the same hours. And then, I have to have a live-in nanny. I mean, it's just, I was telling them at the town halls, at the corporate office, like, when are we going to start having hours that are going to allow women to be able to practice here and be able to have a life? Because, and they didn't provide maternity leave. I mean, the doctor wanted me back to work after, I think almost after 3 weeks postpartum, was wanting me to ready to come back to work. And I felt bad taking off 3 months with my second one. I mean, but I was like, I'm going to take 3 months. If I can take 3 months, I should have that time with my child. And I fought for that at those town halls. And I remember fighting for that. Like, I want women to have more. And when I took PTO, the PTO actually affected my compensation. So like, if I took it, I really wasn't even PTO the way Banfield did it. I mean, they've changed that now. And I feel they've changed a lot of things to accommodate that. Granted, it happened after I left. And then I feel like now, though, it's become kind of an entitled standard that some of these things are just given and it's hard as a private practice owner to give all these things financially, but like, I don't want to be against it because I'm like, I fought for those things. So let's have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, I think just it's difficult to be just a veterinarian and to own as a woman, and have a family and try to do it all. Like, it's just unsustainable for a lot.
Because they had put too that was one of the reasons why there weren't as many women owning, was that they put the work-life balance where they'll want the more time in the home section versus actual ownership, and that they were more likely to have partnership pathways in their ownership where they weren't like full partnership. Have you seen that anywhere in the private side at all? Like in the,
and less of that where private practitioners are partnering with each other. And it makes me think back to when I was at Gainesville, and they had like one main emergency clinic there, and it was 5 of the local veterinarians, and they had gotten together to do the emergency clinic, because they didn't have one except the vet school. And they operated it and ran it together for years. But it's like, and they did it together. They worked together and they did it, it was like this nice community thing. And I don't see private veterinarians partnering together as much anymore. But I would say if I do, it's probably more for the women that do. Like currently Dr. West, who I had known from Banfield, she has opened her own private clinic. And so we're looking at kind of partnering with her because, hey, she has more advanced skills in, say, doing orthopedics and things. Instead of sending these patients off to Blue Pearl where they have to spend $15,000 or whatever, let's take care of this pet here. Or, she was telling me about a case with a PU surgery, and the cat had blocked. It was the second or third time, but Veg didn't have a surgeon. I mean, and that's the problem right now is like, they don't have surgeons. Like, and so I mean, if I send something there overnight, I don't know if it's for sure going to get surgery. It might have to wait till tomorrow. And I mean, maybe it could, maybe it couldn't. And she told me how the owners just wanted to do the PU surgery and the cat was currently blocked, but they wanted to charge them $3,500 to unblock the cat first and then $7,000 for the surgery versus, it could have been the surgery potential, it could have been less if there was somebody there. And she was able to take it in and do it at a less expensive cost and help the guy out. And I just feel like our patients are suffering, our clients are suffering because people aren't working together anymore. And it's turning into human medicine. And I feel like we all see how awful human medicine is. I guess this goes off on another tangent, but like it's becoming too specialized and we're just not looking at like the whole system, not to be like all holistic and woo, but.
Right. Yeah. But into like with Dr. West, that goes into, because I know her personally as well, that goes into her heart, her empathy, her wanting to help. It's about not your bottom line. It's about that animal coming off that table and going home with his family.
I mean,
and veterinary medicine has lost that. She's
just started and was working with some of her rescues, and they're doing like $50 and the owner pays $50. I mean, she's trying to do stuff and work within people's budget. And, when you do that, I mean, you get these clients that like, maybe they didn't seem like they had tons of money or whatever, but they end up being super loyal clients that end up spending lots of money with you because they have the pets. And it's just like, it's not even that it's about the money. It's just like, if you do the right thing, the right things will come back to you.
Yeah. And two, like, I know we were talking about like the whole empathetic and the women thing, but your older school veterinarians, your male veterinarians, your Dr. Molinas, your Dr. Jacks, things like that, doctors like that still do that. They have that empathetic bone in their body. where I feel like as a lot of the newer grads, the newer generations, and Joyce, I mean, we've worked with several together, can attest that that may not be the case.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel bad for these veterinarians. Like, I mean, Dr. Jack and Dr. Molina. I mean, these guys, they don't really have a lot of options to sell their clinics, and corporations aren't buying solo doctor clinics, and it's pretty much, it's hard for a young doctor to come in and just buy it without the seller holding back a loan or something. So, and it's like, it's sad because these are really amazing clinics where these doctors have built this awesome clientele and they have a great following. They're trusted in the community. Where I feel like back in the day, this would have been when a younger doctor kind of came in and got to learn under that doctor and take over the clients.
Yeah.
And it's like, you lose all of that. And then I don't want to talk bad about any companies because I felt like I've learned a lot from all of them. But I mean, the acquisition company I worked for would come in and say, we're going to keep your legacy alive, right? These doctors. And I don't know, I think everything starts with good intentions, and that's probably what they wanted. But it's like, it really wasn't their legacy. It was, let's come in and take over your operations and make money, so.
Well, because for those big ones, that is honestly their bottom thing is to make a profit over the actual client patient bond that you got in the older side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that bond goes away very quickly.
Yeah.
It does. And they'll just go down, because then, well, I got a discount here, so I'll go there. And well, that discount went away. So I'm going to go back to this place and go and get this here. And then they just bounce around from clinic to clinic. Then they don't just stay to one home base after that.
Yeah. And I feel like, honestly, I see less and less clients, having that connection. And like, I mean, you do want to have those, but I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of them are just like, whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I drove over an hour when I had to euthanize my Shih Tzu because I went to a vet that I used to work with in Florida, and she's technically in another state, but it was like an hour drive, and I was like, I'll take your last appointment. Can you please do this for me? Don't care. And then off I went because I wanted to be with someone.
Like those loyal clients that they're the ones you want to keep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So where are we at with fixing? Is it to be fixed, the women in veterinary medicine?
I mean, they're projecting it to be. I mean, so like one of the things that they had brought up, and you touched base on it too, was that
probably not having enough men too. Like, I mean, I think that would be kind of a fit. So
yeah, you had touched base on it that they're not necessarily going into becoming a veterinarian because, let's face it, a starting salary for a veterinarian right now is about $100,000 a year, and how much is it for?
I would assume it's more.
It's like that.
You could.
Sometimes we lose her. We have a little bit of hiccups in technology.
All right.
So, I mean, we've had, like I said, we had the conversation before, but I mean, why do you think that our profession is becoming more female dominated than male dominated? Aside from the empathy and things like that, do you think that it's like most of your specialties are, I can't even say male dominated anymore, but like your surgeons, your internal medicine specialists like that, I think that more males are shying away from the general practitioner standpoint.
Well, I mean, even in veterinary medicine, I feel like, it's still more, your surgeons are still more men, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say before I left Amber with her abandonment issues, was that they'll go to specialty care because they're projected to make more versus, and obviously the highest one is in the surgeon area. And then it trickles down after that, but not so much in the regular veterinarian world. So they're bypassing that to go into specialty to be able to profit more.
It's interesting. I'd be interested to see like what the applicant pools look like. I feel like when the men in our class, like half of them had kind of like a agriculture background and half of them didn't. So I kind of wonder if like that experience had to play into it as well. And obviously there's less agriculture stuff happening.
True.
Probably less people coming from a farm background.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's. I'm a very gender neutral kind of person. Like I'm not I don't know, I think women, we do a lot of stuff a lot better, but I'm just going to leave that there. And it's my own personal thoughts and opinions, so I'm going to leave it. But like, it's odd seeing how heavily male dominated this profession was growing up as a kid. Like I would have never even thought of a woman as a veterinarian because I was exposed, all the ones that I was exposed to starting off in the field, they were all men. And I
Mm-hmm.
just, even with, like Dr. Brooke was talking about maternity leave and kids and things like that, even as that becomes more important in terms of work-life balance and things that are important to women, we are still seeing that shift in this being a predominantly female-dominated field. And I don't
I
understand.
wonder if pediatricians is. I wonder if it's more female
Yeah,
dominated. Because I feel like that's kind of a similar.
Give me
yeah.
2 seconds and I'll find out on ChatGPT.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about like back in the day, your old school veterinarians, that's your, and I'm not saying anything about the newer ones. This is not, that's your
Mhm.
ride or die. Like they'll be there all hours of the day and night. You know what I mean? And now with the younger generations and us learning that phrase, work-life balance, and
Mhm.
still your women are still more taking over the field, but still being your moms and the empathetic
Well, I
ones
think
and the
that's what
caretakers and things.
I feel like I came in that shift where work-life balance was this new
Hmm.
word, and then it got like really annoying because we just kind of threw it around all the time.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the work-life balance got switched to like, I just don't want to work. Like almost, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel
Yep.
like for some people, it's like, okay, can we
Yeah.
just have this happy medium? Like I live in a
Yep.
world of medicine. I'm not an 8 to 5 job. Like shit happens. We've
Yeah.
got to like adapt. So not every day is going to be, I don't know. This isn't Walmart. Like we
It's
don't
not
have,
banker's hours.
No.
You know what I
so.
mean? You can't just log off of your computer and go home at night. Like you
Mm,
have something that's relying on you to keep it alive. You can't just walk out the door and be like, "Oh my God, I have a date tonight. I have to go do this." Like literally, if it, I mean, that's, you have somebody's pet's life in your hands. Like it's not, you can't just clock out and run
I
home.
think that's the like kind of a new like the expectation needs to be a little reset like with people with that. It's like
Yeah.
this isn't corporate 9 to 5 jobs like when we're coming in. Like, and I don't want to tell people they have to work 24 hours or anything.
Right.
But
Or
you
cherry
need a
pick.
little bit of like flexibility. So
Yeah. And you can't cherry pick
you
what
can still
patients you're
have
going to see.
work-life balance with it.
Yeah.
You can still have it. And I think that's what people get scared of now. If they give a little bit too much, now they're afraid they're gonna start. It's gonna become the norm, and you're gonna get taken advantage of.
Yeah, and like I'm not a doctor, and Joyce, like you and I have been through this before. Like we're technicians, but like finding that work life, that healthy balance to where you're not throwing your whole self into your job, and then when you go home and you try to have that balance, you feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You leave the ER flooding with a code, and you're like, you know what I mean? Because you've been there for 17 hours already, and you
Yeah.
feel super guilty about it. You know, so.
Yeah.
But again, I've seen dudes walk out like, made it through my shift, bro, I'm out. But
You're
us
up.
as women, we're like, shit, you know what I mean? We gotta stay. I can't let this pet pass on my shift. When homeboy just deuced out, grabbed his shit and left. So I think there's again a huge difference.
I don't know why more men aren't, like, I guess less men are drawn to it other than the finances. Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think it goes with that nurture, that healer, that kill, that
Or just maybe how it's
caretaker
portrayed to
mentality.
them at a young age.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's
We're going
But
to touch
it is-
on that finance string of aspect because men are still going to be paid higher than females. The gap is smaller as the years go on. Right now it's 3%, but they could still make up to, in their lifetime as being a veterinarian, up to $600,000 more in their lifetime, which is not chump change, which as just like a female in general makes me very angry because you can do a lot with that money, especially nowadays with everything being so tight. And this isn't just as like an ownership aspect. This is just straight female veterinarian, male veterinarian. This isn't ownership side. This is just straight up male vet, female vet.
And I wonder if because they have maybe more like, well, just in general with the gap, but like more leadership roles and more like surgeon type roles. And that plays into it.
They're tend to be looked at more for advancement when they just start out versus someone that has been there, say, 10 years, a female that's been there 10 years and they've been there one. They'll be thought about first.
Like when my daughter talks about her dance competitions and she's like, Mom, we would have gotten first place at those other ones, but it's because there was a boy on the other one. It's like, because they're seen as like, oh my God, there's a boy. It's like, but it's kind of like that in the veterinary medicine almost. It's like, geez, because you're a boy, you're seen as like, I don't know, there's like something magical because you're there. Like it's magical to see a boy dance. It's magical to see women vet men now.
right. And two, like, I mean, you go through, let's just take GP versus GP, right? Man versus woman. You go to the same schooling, you get pretty much the same education. but yet your salaries are not as competitive as they should be. Have you seen that a bit in your field, or in your experience, Dr. Brooke?
Not as much anymore. Not when I've been like doing offers with veterinarians. It's pretty much
It's starting to level out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been in the mindset that somebody, because you are, as females, right, child bearers, providers, caretakers of your children, I've never thought that has warranted you making less than that of a man because he can't do those things. And I feel like we're penalized, and not just veterinary medicine, a lot of different, career fields, that you're penalized as a woman because you have the ability to bear children and you are expected to. That's what you do. You're a mom. You're not supposed to work. You're not supposed to have goals. You're not supposed to. And I know a lot of that has culturally shifted quite a bit over the years, but like, I think you should be paid more because you have the ability to do that shit.
Right?
Is actually able to multitask.
I mean, I remember trying to like sneak away to go breast pump and feeling like awful about that because I wasn't seeing patients and it was a big ordeal. But like, yeah. It's challenging. You gotta really multitask those things.
It is, and like I ran into some challenges in a facility that Joyce and I worked together when I took over for practice management. We had a staff member who was pregnant, and she subsequently gave birth. And like from a legal standpoint, I had to make accommodations for her in terms of having areas for her to be able to pump safely and privately and things like that. And it caused an uproar with the men.
Yeah.
Well, if she gets a private place to breast pump, I should have a private. I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
Can you just go outside to the picnic table and eat your lunch and stop? Can you just, can you? Well, how would you like if somebody said that about your wife?
Yeah, exactly. But they'd be like,
yeah,
that's different.
Yeah.
It's not different. It's not different. And they want to throw that, it's discriminatory that you did that for her and not for us. Do you need a pump? Because I'll hook you up with a room, bro. I'll even buy you some lunch.
And this goes into like partnering too. I mean, with your... I know in corporate world, it's kind of like, having kids around, it's a big no-no. And not like having kids around a veterinary clinic is like something we all want to like have them running around, but like having a private clinic where you have a little area where you could keep the kids if you needed to keep the kids. I see veterinary clinics doing that now that are, because it is female, more female. And so women that are running clinics together, I've seen where they do have like a little area where people can bring their kids, or, you have to work, your kids are sick and then your employee can't come to work, or like, hey, maybe they can just bring them in and they can be on their iPad for a little bit. But I feel like we have that flexibility where we can work with our employees more, too.
Yeah. It's about providing a safe space for everybody, like no matter the gender, you know what I mean? But to be a little bit more sensitive to, each individual needs, because are you going to have the same sensitivities to a single father as you would to a woman? You know what I mean? Are you going to provide those same accommodations to a single dad over, a woman in the industry? Because they are out there too, but I would like to see some kind of gender equality across many professions, not just ours. You know what I mean? Not to say that I'm not happy veterinary medicine is more women driven. Because let's face it, we're better with finances and whatnot, But huh? And I think we're sometimes a little bit less emotional.
Maybe.
Yeah. But anywho.
I was going to say, I've seen more male temper tantrums in veterinary medicine than I have on the female side.
The mantrums?
Yep.
Yes, the mantrums. So you really want to look at them and be like, do you just want to stop being a little bitch today and do your job, or do you need a minute? You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Dr. Brooke.
Well, thank you. That was fun.
Do you have anything else to add? Any thoughts, feelings, any passions you share about women in veterinary medicine and where you'd like to see it go?
Let's see. I don't want to be one of those people that, I see veterinarians now say if kids are interested, where they just are like completely want to discourage them. I don't want our profession to be looked at like that, because I remember reading the James Herriot books, and that was like, I got really into those, and I love that man, and he reminds me of like Dr. Jack and Dr. Molina. I don't know, going around the countryside and helping all the people, and it just seemed like, and I remember they had said something about, I chose being a veterinarian surgeon because I'll always have an endless life of like variety, and I was like, that's what I want. I want people, it should be a job that people want to do. I don't want it to be discouraged because it's too emotional or it's too this or it's too that, because we've created that, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I think I would like to see more men be interested and people be interested in general, but
Yeah.
the equality part, definitely. So, and more women being able to have the opportunity to get into leadership roles where they're supported appropriately. I mean,
That's a key
so
one right there, is being supported.
it's the thing, they have the capability. It's because our society doesn't provide the proper support for them to have it. Whereas
Yeah.
a man has more of the support just because he naturally isn't the child caretaker as much. So, and doesn't, even if he is being in there, it's like he's not, I feel like the mom just has that more in her head, like, so if women, I felt, were just supported more as being the moms and owning, it's like, yeah, you can do it. And we just need to work together more. It's not everybody on their own. Like, why can't these veterinarians in local places work together more? Like we're doing with the doctors we have. Why not use somebody's skills down the road that does something better?
And you are living proof that it can be done. You have 3, getting ready to have 4 practices, and you're still a mom. You're still a daughter,
Which
you're
is
still a
awesome.
sister, you're still a damn good friend.
It's not
Like,
always
you
been
do it.
easy. I have had to muddle.
I'm sure, but like you're doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? And I have an immense amount of respect for you as a human being, as a practice owner, as a doctor. And you set a phenomenal example every day.
Thank you. Same to you. When I got sent Amber, I was like, oh my God, I've seen so many practice managers. And I was like, where has she been hiding? Like, where?
From VetMed.
I'm so glad she has not been touched by the Mars family yet.
No, I thought about it once, and then I was like, I'm an HR nightmare for a corporate facility, so it's probably not a good idea.
That's okay. I think I was called an HR risk a couple times.
That's okay.
That's what makes it fun,
Exactly.
I
Well,
say
thank
something
you
to Dr.
again.
Brooke, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have said that. She's like, you're fine. But thank you so much again, Dr. Brooke, for taking the time to do this.
Ladies, have a good night.
You too.